If you grew up with Monsuno, you probably remember the electrifying battles, mysterious origins, and the unbreakable bond between humans and their Monsuno creatures. The show had a wild energy, combining sci-fi thrills with heartfelt friendships and high-stakes adventures. So, without wasting any more time, let's jump into the action. In the first episode of the series, Chase is having the worst nightmare. He's running from a hungry T-Rex that's gaining on him fast, but luckily he wakes up just before becoming dinosaur food. For the past week, he's been hiking through the woods with his friends Bryn and Ginger because his dad suddenly stopped contacting them, and they're getting seriously worried. When they finally reach his father's lab the next morning, they're shocked to find the place totally trashed with broken equipment everywhere and important papers scattered all over. Plus, there's no trace of his dad. Just as they're taking in the mess, John Ace shows up. He's a storm agent who knows Chase and is also concerned about his missing father, so he leads them to a special locked room only he can open. Inside, they find two weird items, a strange glowing energy ball that seems important, and a fancy high-tech tablet that Bryn and Ginger immediately start arguing about like little kids fighting over a new toy. Before they can even begin to understand what's going on, a whole squad of storm soldiers burst in with guns ready, which makes Chase panic so badly that he instinctively chucks the glowing ball across the room. Not his finest moment, but hey, nobody thinks straight when they're about to get shot. After Chase accidentally unleashes a monstrous polar bear called the linchpin, chaos erupts. Storm's bullets bounce off it as it wrecks the lab until a gas explosion forces everyone to flee. Shockingly, the beast calms down and lets Chase ride it. Later, the group learns from Chase's dad's notes that Monsuno are living weapons needing capsule rest, complete with a Pokemon-style recall. But Storm ambushes them with two Monsuno, overwhelming Linchpin, until Chase's pep talk triggers a comeback. Linchpin evolves, smashing one enemy into an exploding truck. At Storm HQ, John Ace avoids punishment by pointing out they attacked kids. Their leader declares Chase an enemy, signaling war. Naming his Monsuno Locke, Chase stays on the run. Meanwhile, a goateed villain watches Locke's footage and laughs, because evil loves drama. In the next episode, Storm agents are ransacking Jaridy's lab, swiping anything valuable. However, they're not leaving quietly because they have planted a bomb to erase all evidence. Chase and his crew are hiding in plain sight when they spot it just in time. Without wasting a second, they make a run for it and barely escape the explosion. After getting out, they notice the storm troops loading up a massive truck. Chase immediately takes action. Since he has a monster that can withstand bullets, he sends it in. As a result, the truck is flipped over, forcing the storm agents to flee while leaving behind high-grade hardware. Somewhere, a very expensive insurance claim is being written. Without hesitation, Chase and his friends search the truck and collect valuable intel, a new gadget for the market, and a stash of empty Monsuno cores. However, one of them is active. Suddenly, Jaridy's hololog appears, revealing that Storm had stolen Quickforce while he was away. Jaridy warns that Storm's experiments on Quickforce would be painful. However, let's be honest, a guy creating giant hybrid monsters in a secret jungle lab does not have much room to judge morality. On top of that, it turns out Storm funded him with the goal of weaponizing Monsuno. After learning the truth, Chase and his crew decide they must save Quickforce. At Storm's facility, John Ace admits he cannot bear to watch the cruel experiments. However, Trey, staying true to his pragmatic nature, argues that they need the data. Meanwhile, Ginger hotwires the truck, switching the radio from elevator music to heavy metal and speeds toward the base. When they arrive, Bryn immediately fails the passcode confirmation, causing them to get caught. Chase volunteers as a decoy and runs for it, yet he somehow forgets to use Locke. Ginger and Bryn hack the system and then drive through the hallways to reach Quickforce. Instead of acting quickly, they argue over who should take Quickforce and settle it with a game of rock, paper, scissors. Bryn wins, but forgets to say return. Chase is trapped and forced into a fight with John Ace, who sends out Black Bullet, a fast, bird-like Monsuno that quickly overpowers Locke. However, Chase uses the smoke to obscure Locke's movement, allowing him to land a hit. John Ace recalls Black Bullet, impressed by their teamwork. Trey then launches Ricochet, a beetle Monsuno that causes massive destruction while attacking Locke. Fortunately, Bryn successfully tames Quickforce and joins the fight. They trap Ricochet inside and collapse the facility on it. Reuniting with Ginger, they escape in the only available vehicle, a tiny cargo truck. In the next episode, the trio makes their way to Access Town to meet a mysterious woman known as Grandma Future. Ginger is convinced she knows something about Chase's father and insists they go see her. Meanwhile, Chase and Bryn get sidetracked by a food cart, deciding that fresh hot dogs are more important than their actual mission, much to Ginger's frustration and growing suspicion that she's only a responsible one here. When they finally meet Grandma Future, they discover that she has lost her sight but has incredibly sharp hearing. Before Chase can even speak, she immediately deduces he's here about his father, Jarity Suno. To everyone's surprise, she reveals she's been friends with Jarity for years, and before vanishing, he mentioned he was heading underground for research to find a man named Mr. Black, because apparently disappearing without context runs in the family. The trio prepares to leave, but Grandma Future warns them to be careful and hands them a stone, calling it a lucky charm that will aid them on their journey. As they depart, she retreats to a secret room, revealing she's been watching them all along and is actually part of Stormforce. Upon reaching the underground, they meet Mr. Black, who offers them anything they want, including information on Jarity. However, there's a catch. They must battle him, and if they lose, their Monsuno will become his. To raise the stakes, he also reveals the winner will receive the valuable Monsuno essence, worth a fortune. Desperate to find his father, Chase steps forward, but Jinja and Bryn stop him. Instead, Bryn takes the challenge and launches Quick Force against Black's Spike Lash, only to lose instantly. Chase, furious, is ready to fight, but Jinja steps in, declaring she'll take Black on without Monsuno. Black hesitates, but Grandma Future urges him to continue. The fight is over in seconds, with Jinja easily overpowering him and claiming the Monsuno essence. As they flee, Grandma Future launches a train to stop them, but Jinja bonds with a new Monsuno, Charger, just in time. With their new ally, the trio battles Black and his guards, winning decisively before heading off to continue their search for Jarity, though at this rate, Chase is starting to think his dad just doesn't want to be found. In the other episode, Medea, the ruthless commander of Darkspin, receives orders from a mysterious masked figure to capture Chase and his Monsuno. Meanwhile, the trio stumbles upon a holographic message from Jarity, revealing some coordinates. Before they can process it, another urgent message appears from Chase's father, demanding an immediate meeting. Chase, eager to reunite, is ready to rush off, but Jinja and Bryn stop him, suspecting it could be a trap. He reluctantly agrees, and Bryn begins decrypting the message. While analyzing it, they discover a way to control their Monsuno's attack power. However, Bryn needs more time to uncover the truth behind Jarity's coordinates. For now, they wait, but knowing their luck, trouble is probably already on its way. Late at night, Chase sneaks out while Bryn and Jinja sleep and follows the coordinates. He arrives to find Medea, a complete psychopath whose idea of fun involves battling powerful Monsuno and winning by any means necessary. She challenges him to a fight, and they both launch their Monsuno. Medea quickly gains the upper hand, and her gang prepares to trap Chase in a cryo freezer. However, he realizes the danger and makes a break for it. During his escape, Jinja and Bryn catch up with him, and they devise a plan to take down Medea. Just as they prepare, Chase hears his father's voice echoing through the building. Without thinking, he rushes toward it, only to find out it was a trick. One of Medea's gang members had faked the hologram. A battle breaks out, but this time, Jinja and Bryn fight alongside Chase. Together, they manage to defeat Medea. Before leaving, she hands them a strange fidget spinner-like tool, which Bryn later deciphers. He discovers that Medea had altered one of Jarity's 5-year-old messages to create the fake holograph. Meanwhile, Stormforces question who had the resources to hire an expensive mercenary group like Darkspin just to capture Chase. In the other episode, Chase, Bryn, and Jinja journey through the snowy mountains in search of the Library of Tabab when suddenly an avalanche strikes, leaving Bryn with a fractured leg. Thinking quickly, Jinja orders her Monsuno, Charger, to carry them to safety. As they make their way forward, they encounter a mysterious robed boy, and Chase, suspecting he caused the avalanche, immediately challenges him to a fight. However, before the battle can begin, a group of monks arrives, forcing the boy to retreat. Their leader introduces himself as the Bookman, head of the Library of Tabab, and warns Chase that the mysterious boy is a dangerous enemy. Once inside the vast library, which is filled with ancient texts and secrets, the Bookman uses his advanced knowledge to heal Bryn's leg. While offering them food, he reveals that he knew Jarity and presents a mysterious compass that has remained inactive for years. However, the moment Chase touches it, the compass suddenly starts to glow. Before they can react, the trio unexpectedly loses consciousness. When they wake up, they find themselves locked in a cell as the Bookman taunts them, revealing his true intentions to take their Monsunos for research before walking away. Just then, the robed boy from earlier appears and warns them that the Bookman is the real enemy. Introducing himself as Baal, he offers to help them escape. Chase, weighing his options, agrees, on the condition that Baal isn't planning any more surprise avalanches along the way. With Baal's help, the trio manages to escape and quickly retrieve their Monsuno cores, much to the Bookman's fury. As he unleashes his forces, a battle breaks out, but after a brief struggle, Chase, Bryn, Jinja, and Baal successfully flee. Baal leads them to a hidden temple deep in the mountains where they meet an old monk who reveals that Chase's father once visited. Before leaving, Jarity entrusted a Monsuno to the temple, and the monk passed it on to Baal. Later, the monk uses ancient healing techniques to fully restore Bryn's leg. As they rest, Baal explains that he and the old monk are the last surviving members of the once famous Library of Tabab. The Bookman and his forces overran the library, wiping out the monks one by one. However, Baal has been waiting for this moment, as he once had a spiritual vision of Chase and now believes it is his destiny to help him. Meanwhile, back at the ruins of the library, the Bookman seethes with rage, vowing revenge against Chase and his friends. In the next episode, as the teens hike through the lowlands, they follow Dax, a cocky drifter who once worked for Dr. Clips. Chase, still unsure if Dax can truly be part of their team, team wants to test his loyalty. Bale, however, firmly believes that Dax is the destined 5th member of Team Core, so the others decide to see if the prophecy holds true. Suddenly, a sniper attacks, wounding Dax. Chase quickly unleashes Locke and rushes to retrieve him, but in the chaos, the sniper seizes the opportunity to kidnap Bale. Acting fast, Chase, Bryn, and Jinja launch their monsunos to fight back. However, to their surprise, the sniper releases Bale and mysteriously retreats. Later, the sniper is revealed to be Lat, a member of Dark Spin. Reporting back to Medea, he smugly informs her that he placed a secret tracker on Bale. Hearing this, Medea becomes excited, eager to make her move. Team Core Tech arrives at the ancient ruins of Casco Gorge, where Bale explains the significance of the ancient carvings. He reveals that they were created by one of the 5 tribes of Destiny, nomadic groups that settled in the crater of Monsuno life thousands of years ago. At that time, the Monsuno essence was alive, shaping their existence and granting them visions of both the world's end and the rise of a new Monsuno-driven era. One particular tribe, drawn by the essence, arrived here 13,000 years ago and left behind these carvings. However, one day they mysteriously vanished without a trace. Before the team can ponder further, they suddenly spot Jarity and rush to follow him, only to discover that Dax has been secretly working with him. Chase finally reunites with his father, but their moment is cut short when Medea crushes the scene, launching her Monsuno, Poison Wing. Chase counters with Locke, while the rest of Team Core Tech battles Darkspin. Amidst the chaos, the ruins begin to collapse, and Locke shields Chase from the falling debris. Jarity is forced to leave, but not before giving Chase a second Monsuno named Evo. With Evo's strength, Poison Wing is quickly defeated, and the rest of Team Core Tech triumphs over Darkspin, forcing Medea and her squad to retreat. Although Chase loses his father once again, he becomes even more determined to find him. Meanwhile, Dax, after completing a mysterious task of burying metal devices in the sand, returns and officially joins Team Core as their long-awaited 5th member, because every good team needs a wild card. In the next episode, while fishing, a fisherman accidentally awakens a dormant wild core just off the shore of Coastal City. Meanwhile, Dax picks up intel about Jarity Suno's possible location, prompting Chase and the Core Tech team to head to Coastal City. However, when they arrive, they find the city engulfed in a massive hurricane, forcing them to take shelter underground. Inside the storm shelter, the fisherman recognizes the core attached to Chase's hip and shares his story. He reveals how he barely survived after his ship sank and recalls spotting a Storm airship before making it to shore. Realizing that Storm is after the wild core and could destroy the entire city in the process, Chase makes a bold decision. He and his team must stop them before it's too late. The 5 members of Team Core Tech successfully infiltrate Storm's ship, where Bren quickly hacks into their system. They soon uncover Charlemagne's dangerous plan. She intends to absorb the wild core's energy, and in doing so has created the devastating hurricane threatening Coastal City. Worse yet, she's willing to sacrifice the entire town and its people just to harness the core's power. Determined to stop her, Dax hands Jinja a new Monsuno, and together with Bale, they launch their Monsunos against Storm. Charlemagne and Trey respond by unleashing their own Monsunos, Driftblade and Ricochet, resulting in an intense battle. While the others keep the enemy occupied, Chase and Bren focus on their objective, ultimately destroying the wild core energy beam. With their plan foiled, Storm Force is forced to abandon the ship. Meanwhile, Team Core Tech's trust in Dax solidifies after his crucial help in the mission. However, elsewhere, Dr. Clips watches from the shadows, revealing his own sinister plan to utilize the wild core's power for himself and eliminate his enemies once and for all. In the other episode, Dax strikes a secret deal with Charlemagne, agreeing to betray his team in exchange for Monsuno essence. Later, he rejoins Team Core Tech, who's still searching for Jarity, and leads them to a Storm facility where soldiers are actively training to counter them. After observing the facility, Dax slips away and meets with Charlemagne, who instructs him to lead his team into a training town in the middle of the valley. However, while sneaking back, Bren catches him talking to the enemy. Realizing he's been exposed, Dax quickly overpowers Bren, punching him in the stomach and tying him to a tree before returning to the group as if nothing happened. As they reach the valley, Bale senses something is wrong, but before he can act, Bren manages to escape and rushes back to warn his friends. Just as he reveals Dax's betrayal, Dax arrives with Charlemagne and the Storm forces, setting the perfect trap for Team Core Tech. An all-out battle erupts between their Monsunos, with intense clashes on both sides. However, Chase gains the upper hand thanks to his second Monsuno, allowing him to counter Charlemagne's attacks more effectively. Meanwhile, Bren unlocks his own second Monsuno, tipping the scales further in their favor. With their combined strength, Team Core Tech manages to overpower Charlemagne, forcing her to retreat. Before she escapes, Dax destroys her communication device and takes extra vials of Monsuno essence as his payment for assisting her. After the dust settles, Dax returns to Team Core Tech, where Chase reveals that everything had been part of a carefully planned bait-and-switch operation. Using Dax as a double agent, they had successfully tricked Charlemagne and secured more Monsuno essence for their team. In the other episode, under constant attack from relentless robot drones, John Ace warns Chase that there's a spy among his team. He then offers Chase a place in Storm, and to everyone's everyone's surprise, Chase accepts. With him gone, the rest of Cortex starts arguing, which quickly escalates into a 2-on-2 Monsuno battle. Meanwhile, Chase, on his way to Storm, has second thoughts and decides to turn back. But first, he and Ace have to escape Storm's attack planes. At the same time, Darkspin ambushes the rest of Cortex. Medea launches her new Monsuno, Toxic Claw, while her team joins the fight. Ace skillfully maneuvers through the drones and takes them down, while on the ground, Team Cortex struggles against Darkspin. Just as things look bad, Chase arrives with Ace by his side. Baal then unlocks his second Monsuno, Arachnoblade, finally evening the odds. Together, they manage to defeat Darkspin. In the aftermath of the battle, Ace returns to Storm headquarters and, in a fit of frustration, rage quits, much to Charlemagne's fury. She immediately orders his arrest, but Ace isn't one to stick around for that. He outmaneuvers the guards, hijacks a fighter plane, and makes a dramatic escape. Meanwhile, Team Cortex finally discovers the tracker hidden on Baal and removes it, putting an end to Storm's surveillance, at least for now. However, Charlemagne isn't done scheming. Realizing she needs a more unpredictable edge, she hires Darkspin for her next move. While wandering through what looks like an ancient Monsuno temple, Team Cortex and John Ace suddenly get ambushed. Before they even know what's happening, they're captured, and their cores are swiped by Dom Pyro, a total lunatic working for Eclipse. Chase and Ace aren't about to let that slide, so they track Pyro to the temple. As they sneak in, Ace explains that the Benga jungle is loaded with Monsuno DNA, meaning these creatures might have lived here ages ago. The locals probably thought they were gods or something. Inside, Pyro is already waiting and immediately zaps Ace with electricity. Chase wastes no time. He launches Locke and uses the crumbling temple to his advantage, turning the fight in his favor. He snatches back the cores, grabs Ace, and gets out of there. Moral of the story, never mess with a guy named Dom Pyro. In the next episode, John Ace leads the team to an old mining site where he, Jared Isuno, and Dr. Eclipse once extracted a studied meteor fragments. He thinks Chase might find some clues about his dad there, but there's a catch. Ace also wants to destroy the Monsuno essence because he believes it's way too dangerous. Once they sneak into the facility, the team splits up to cover more ground. But just as they start searching, Baal gets one of his visions, and this one's a big deal. He warns them they have to stop Ace before he wipes out the Monsunos for good. Bren and Chase dig deeper into the facility and stumble upon Operation Shadow Effect. Turns out, Dr. Eclipse is playing mad scientist again. This time, he's trying to speed up the natural infusion process to create the ultimate Monsuno. Not exactly comforting news. Bren quickly starts downloading the entire database, but meanwhile, Dr. Eclipse catches up to Jinja and Dax. At the same time, Baal finds Ace and tries to stop him from destroying the Monsuno essence, but things spiral out of control fast. Chase manages to reunite with Jinja and Dax, launching Locke just as the glass containing the Monsuno essence shatters. The shadow effect spreads like wildfire, turning the Monsunos into out-of-control monsters. Realizing his mistake, Ace rushes to contain the blast, trying to physically stop it. Meanwhile, Chase taps into his deep bond with Locke and somehow manages to bring him back under control. The team barely makes it out in time, but there's a heavy silence as Baal delivers the news. John Ace sacrificed himself to save them all. In the other episode, Chase, Bren, Jinja, and Baal experience a shocking vision of the future. Locke completely losing control and unleashing chaos everywhere. The thought alone is enough to rattle Chase, but before he can process it, a Storm soldier ambushes him. The fight is intense, with Chase going head-to-head against the soldier's Monsuno air chopper. He manages to take it down, but in the middle of everything, Locke suddenly bolts, just straight up runs off into the desert. Confused and worried, Chase and the team take off after him. Meanwhile, out in the vast emptiness of the desert, Locke stumbles upon something strange, a Monsuno wild core buried beneath the sand. Without hesitation, he absorbs its essence, leaving an ominous question hanging in the air. What is he becoming? Still disoriented from absorbing the wild core, Locke becomes an easy target for manipulation. Enter Jack, a former Storm agent with his own agenda. Seeing an opportunity, he takes advantage of Locke's confusion and uses him for his own gain. By the time Chase and the team track them down, Jack is already waiting with his Monsuno, Freedom Striker. The battle is fierce, and for a moment, Jack is on the verge of winning. But the real problem? Locke isn't listening to Chase at all. It's like their bond is completely severed. Desperate, Chase pulls out the ultimate move. No, not a new attack, but some classic Naruto-style talk no jutsu. He reminds Locke of their connection, their trust, and everything they've been through together. Somehow it works. Locke snaps out of Jack's control, and just like that, the tables turn. Realizing he's lost, Jack makes a hasty retreat, but not before making a bold declaration. He will take control of every Monsuno, no matter what it takes. In the next episode, as Jaredy and Team Cortex navigate the grimy, twisting sewers of Issamon to plant the final failsafe device, an eerie feeling settles over them. Something is off. At first, they chalk it up to paranoia. After all, this city is crawling with lowlifes, but the deeper they go, the stronger the sensation becomes. Then, one by one, they start disappearing. At first, it's subtle. A shadow flickers, a faint noise echoes. Then suddenly, bam, one of them is gone. The team scrambles to regroup, but the creature leads them straight into a trap. Without hesitation, Dax Jax launches his Monsuno ready for battle. Just as the fight heats up, a familiar voice cuts through the chaos. Dr. Clips. Then comes the real shocker. The monster isn't just some wild Monsuno, it's John Ace. Somehow he survived the explosion, but not without consequences. The Monsuno essence fused with his body, turning him into something different, something more. Dr. Clips, always one to exploit a golden opportunity, takes full advantage of Ace's overwhelming power. With a twisted grin, he unleashes a surge of energy, overpowering the team. Before they can react, he snatches Jarity and disappears into the shadows, leaving Team Cortex stunned and outmatched. In the next episode, Chase and the team are scrambling to come up with a rescue plan before Jarity and Ace are lost forever to Dr. Clips' twisted experiments. But things take a darker turn when Clips drops a bombshell. His real target isn't just Jarity, it's Chase. Clips wants to capture him and turn him into his next big experiment. Jarity is faced with an impossible choice. To save his son, he has to conduct his own dangerous experiments on Ace. Determined to put an end to Clips' madness, Chase hatches a plan. With Jack running interference and the mysterious Dawn Master lending a hand, they set their sights on the Heart of Eclipse organization headquarters. Just as Chase is about to free his father, Dr. Clips reveals his ultimate goal, to become a half-human, half-Monsuno hybrid to rule the world. Jarity warns him it's impossible, but Clips refuses to listen. Meanwhile, Jack storms into Clips' facility, leading to an all-out battle. At the same time, Dawn Master helps Chase and the team sneak inside. The Cortec crew jumps in to assist Jack, but because betrayal is basically his brand, Jack turns against them mid-fight. While Locke clashes with Clips' Monsuno, Chase and Dawn Master push forward. Chase reaches Jarity and almost frees him, but then something completely unexpected happens. In the Season 1 finale, Chase and the team are in serious trouble. Trapped in the ruins of Clips' lab alongside Dawn Master, One-Eyed Jack, and the Desert Wolves, they're completely cornered. Meanwhile, Clips, as usual, is on the verge of doing something catastrophically evil. This time, he's got his hands on weapons of mass destruction, powered by his latest creation, the Monsuno Fusion Core Reactor, a dangerous piece of tech built from his experiments with the shadow effect, and he's seconds away from pulling the trigger. As if that wasn't bad enough, Storm has locked onto their location and is heading in, ready for battle. With enemies on all sides and time running out, Chase and the gang have to think fast, or risk total annihilation. With three factions clashing at once, the battlefield turns into absolute chaos. The Eclipse Organization, Cortec, and Storm all go head-to-head in an all-out war, Monsunos colliding in a fight that shakes the very ground beneath them. In the end, Cortec emerges victorious, but the cost is high. Eclipse's base explodes in a fiery blast, and in the chaos, Locke is forcibly fused with another of Chase's Monsunos. The shock of it leaves everyone stunned, but there's no time to dwell on it. After the dust settles, Jarity hands Chase the trigger switch, the key to deciding the fate of Monsunos once and for all. But Chase, believing there's still hope for humans and Monsunos to coexist, makes his choice. Instead of using it, he throws it away. In the first episode of Season 2, Team Cortec is back in action, but this time they're up against a new threat, Drez and the Punk Monks, dangerous operatives working under Professor Talus of the Forge Resistance. Their goal is to get their hands on a wild core bomb, a weapon so powerful it could level an entire city. Chase and his team are hot on their trail, determined to stop them, but before they can reclaim the bomb, Drez sets it off. The explosion rips through the area, and though the team barely escapes with their lives, Bren, Monsuno, Quickforce isn't as lucky. Bren is devastated, blaming himself for what happened, but his friends remind him that Quickforce sacrificed itself to save them. The moment is heavy, but there's no time to mourn. The stakes just got higher. The Forge Resistance still has 5 more wild core bombs. In the next episode, Professor Talus and the Forge Resistance are planning to launch a mega wild core bomb on a rocket straight into Westward City. If they succeed, millions of innocent lives will be lost. Chase and Team Cortec rush in to stop them, battling through waves of enemies. On the ground, Bren steps up, launching Neo Quickforce to take down the remaining Resistance fighters. Meanwhile, Chase makes a daring move, boarding the rocket himself to jettison the bomb into space before it can reach the city. Just when it seems like he's lost forever, Locke swoops in, catching Chase mid-fall as they plummet back to Earth. The protective shield barely holds as they crash land near the city they just saved. Elsewhere, Dr. Clips watches the events unfold with a sinister grin. He's pleased that Professor Talus is still around. After all, he has plans for him. In the other episode, Chase and Team Cortec are on the hunt for meteor fragments and data on Monsuno essence, crucial for Dr. Jarity Suno's world-saving research. But they're not alone. Medea and Team Darkspin are hot on their trail, working for a mysterious new benefactor. Not Eclipse, someone new, someone powerful, and he's testing Chase. Just as an epic battle breaks out, the benefactor makes his move, revealing a core of his own, a doppelganger Locke. Chase watches in shock as his Locke goes head-to-head with its identical twin. Realizing they're outmatched, Chase orders his team to fall back while Locke unleashes a massive energy wave, buying them time to retreat. But Medea isn't one to sit back. She ventures into the forest, determined to track them down, only to be swallowed whole by a monstrous creature. Later, Chase discusses the doppelganger's strange abilities with Jarity, who struggles to believe such a thing is even possible. Meanwhile, in the shadows, the benefactor is revealed, part of a secret cult with one chilling goal: capturing Chase. In the next episode, Dax's past comes back to haunt him when he receives a secret call from an unknown man, offering to reveal the identity of the person responsible for his parents' deaths. The name? Dom Pyro. But that's not all. Dr. Clips has plans to recreate the horrific John Ace Toxic Ace experiment, and he's chosen an unwilling test subject, Dax. To settle an old score, Clips hires Dom Pyro to capture Dax alive. Dax fights hard but ultimately loses. Soon he finds himself trapped in a lab, with Dr. Clips, Hargrave, and Dom Pyro watching as he's placed into a tank, moments away from becoming Toxic Dax. Not that Bryn and Jinja don't joke about him already being pretty toxic. Meanwhile, Team Cortex scrambles to rescue him. Chase and Bryn take on Dr. Clips while Jinja and Bale battle Dom Pyro. In a desperate effort, Chase manages to free Dax, who immediately unleashes his Monsuno to strike back at Clips. But before he can do any real damage, the entire facility begins to collapse, forcing both sides to flee. Later, Jinja scolds Dax for running off on his own, but the team reassures him that he's one of them. For the first time in a long time, Dax starts to believe it. In the other episode, Dr. Clips unveils his latest creation, number 6, a teenage clone of himself designed for one purpose: to eliminate Team Cortex. Unaware of Six's true identity, Chase and the others encounter him while tracking the punk monks and, seeing no immediate threat, invite him along. Meanwhile, Chase experiences strange visions of his mother, though their meaning remains unclear. During a battle with the punk monks, Six finds himself torn between his father and his new companions. However, in the end, he chooses Dr. Clips. Forced to fight, Chase pulls off a devastating double Monsuno attack to claim victory. The team is furious at Six's betrayal, but Chase, understanding Six's loyalty to his creator, decides to let him go, for now. In the other episode, Dr. Clips sets his sights on Locke, believing him to be the linchpin, the key to unlocking the true power of Monsuno essence. Charity finally reveals to Chase why Locke is so special. When creating Locke's core, he infused it with a strand of Chase's hair. This means Chase and Locke aren't just partners, they're like brothers. More importantly, Locke is the only Monsuno capable of bridging the gap between humans and Monsunos, making him the planet's last hope. Chase demands to know how this works, but Charity admits he doesn't have a solid answer, just a scientific intuition. Before they can process this revelation, Dr. Clips springs a trap using Six as bait. With Dom Pyro and Hargrave at his side, Clips launches a full-scale assault on Team Cortex. In a shocking turn, Six temporarily gains control of Locke and orders him to attack Chase, but Locke resists. Desperate, Chase blows the pendant around his neck, triggering Locke's ability to recognize his true owner. Locke's power surges, breaking Six's hold and overwhelming Clips' forces. With the battle won, Team Cortex escapes aboard Chase's second Monsuno, Evo. Curious, Chase tries to use the pendant on Evo, but it doesn't work. Locke is the only special one. Meanwhile, a defeated Six apologizes to his father for failing, but Dr. Clips remains undeterred. With cold determination, he vows that this isn't over. Locke is the linchpin, and he will have him. In the other episode, Chase and Bale's Monsuno sight makes them vulnerable to the Hand of Destiny, a mysterious group that infiltrates their dreams, forcing them to fight their own friends. Under this illusion, Chase and Bale are on the verge of capture, until the rest of Team Cortex comes up with a way to wake them. While still under the influence, Chase and Bale battle Medea and Darkspin, unaware of what's real. Just when all hope is lost, Team Cortex arrives to snap them back to reality. In a bold move, Jinja kisses Bale, breaking the illusion and bringing him back to his senses. Bale then reaches out to Chase, helping him regain control just as he comes face to face with Master A, Bale's master and the only monk alive. With their minds clear, Team Cortex defeats Medea and Darkspin, though their enemies vow revenge. However, a far greater revelation shakes Chase to his core. Team Cortex learns that the Hand of Destiny were the ones who captured Chase's mother. Master A urges Chase to find her, revealing that she is the seeker of the Pentaculus, a title tied to an ancient and powerful secret. Now, Chase's mission isn't just about saving the world, it's about saving his mother. In the next episode, Chase is on a mission to find his mother. She's alive, but held captive by the Hand of Destiny. To track them down, he needs an ancient artifact called the Pentaculus, a legendary compass that will lead the way. Team Cortex sets out to an ancient temple site, searching for clues. But before they can make progress, Dr. Clips and his minions, Hargrave, Six, and Dom Pyro, ambush them. Chase and his team spin out their clone cores to counter Clips' attack, only for Clips to unleash his own. An all-out battle erupts, but in the end, Team Cortex emerges victorious. They manage to escape with their first piece of the Pentaculus. Only 4 more remain. Meanwhile, as Bryn helps Chase with his meditations, he experiences a vision of Sophie, Chase's mother. She urges them to assemble the Pentaculus, claiming it will guide them to her. However, in a chilling twist, it is revealed that this vision was a trick by the Hand of Destiny. Their true goal is to shed their mortality and ascend to something far more dangerous. In the next episode, Chase and his friends are on the hunt for the final piece of the Pentaculus, but they face 2 major obstacles. First, Dr. Clips already has it. Second, he's back to his twisted experiments and is trying to create the ultimate human Monsuno hybrid. Team Cortex launches a surprise attack to stop him, but Clips turns the tables and captures Chase. He believes Chase is the perfect candidate for his horrific experiment. Just when it seems all hope is lost, Dax breaks free from his restraints and crashes the experiment, throwing the lab into chaos. A fierce battle erupts. Chase unleashes Locke and finally destroys Dom Pyro's Monsuno once and for all, while the rest of the team take down Hargrave. With their enemies weakened, they escape and leave Clips fuming in defeat. Afterward, a shocking discovery is made. Chase's pendant, the one his mother gave him, was the missing piece of the Pentaculus all along. With the artifact now complete, Jaredy. In the next episode, after completing the Pentaculus, Team Cortex sets out for the Canyon of the Shooting Star. Their mission is clear. They must stop the Monsuno essence from sinking deeper into the Earth's core before it destroys the planet. However, the moment they arrive, the Hand of Destiny makes their move. They summon Charlemagne, Clips, Drez, and Tinker to join the battle, turning the odds against Chase and his friends. Determined to save Chase's mother and trigger the harmonic frequency in the Well of Sight, Team Cortex launches an all-out assault, but the Hand of Destiny has their own plans. They have always wanted the Pentaculus, and now they finally have the chance to use it. With its power, they can drain the energy and life force of every human with Monsuno sight, including Chase, Bale, and Jinja. The battle is fierce. The enemy is stronger than ever, and for the first time, it seems like Team Cortex may not be able to win. In the Season 2 finale, Team Cortex faces the Hand of Destiny in their final battle. The Well of Sight amplifies the power of the Hand of Destiny's shape-shifting Monsunos, making them nearly unstoppable. To make matters worse, they have Sophia as their trump card. Seizing their moment, they steal the Pentaculus from Chase and activate its devastating ability. The device drains the life force from everyone with the Monsuno sight, including Hargrave, Chef Sid, and the entire Storm Strike squad, Alpha, X-Ray, and Tango. If Team Cortex is to have any chance of victory, they must be ready to make the ultimate sacrifice. With their enemies stronger than ever and their allies collapsing one by one, it seems like defeat is inevitable. The Hand of Destiny is on the verge of victory. Soon, everyone with the Monsuno sight across the entire globe will be drained of energy and life. In a last desperate attack, Locke makes the ultimate sacrifice. He leaps into the Well of Sight with the harmonic frequency device. A massive wave of powerful Monsuno essence erupts from the well, shattering the Hand of Destiny's control and breaking the deadly drain chain. The force is so strong that it wipes out the Hand of Destiny completely. In the end, Chase and Team Cortex emerge victorious. They save Chase's mother, stop the Monsuno essence from destroying the world, and bring an end to the Hand of Destiny, all in one epic finale. In the first episode of Season 3, Team Cortex splits up for separate missions. Chase, Jinja, and Bryn successfully recovered an illegal stash of Monsuno essence, while Bale and Dax kept watch at the Westward City Natural History Museum. Just as Commandant John Ace finishes reprimanding them for their reckless methods, someone calls that Bale and Dax are under attack by a Dino Monsuno. Rushing to the museum, the team is shocked to find Dr. Clips and Professor Talus unveiling their latest creation, ferocious dinosaur hybrids infused with Monsuno power. However, Team Cortex barely escapes, sprinting back toward their Cloudhopper for reinforcements. But suddenly, they get ambushed by Petros, Tess, and Dasha as they steal the essence from them. Chase is trapped with no way out, so he makes one last move. He spins out Locke. Right in the middle of the battle, Locke suddenly evolves and this new power saves them from losing completely. But the damage is already done as Clips gets away with ancient bones for more experiments, and Droog vanishes, taking the stolen essence with him. When they try to rush toward them, their Cloudhopper is destroyed in the chaos. With no other choice, Team Cortex has to walk back to Storm headquarters on foot, even after terrible beaten, their worries about how Commandant Ace will react. In the next episode, Droog and the Hand of Destiny attacks again, this time targeting the Storm headquarters itself, unleashing their alien Monsunos and stealing huge amounts of Monsuno essence. Commandant John Ace is furious and the team's stuck on the sidelines with no way to fight back. Afterward, Jaredy rushes to study Locke's strange evolution, believing that it could be the key to stopping the new alien and Dino Monsuno threats. Moreover, Trey sends the strike squad to deal with the crisis, but Chase is convinced that his dad will figure out in time. He leads Team Cortex straight into another trap against both Clips and Talus, as well as Droog's forces, only to realize too late that the upgrade isn't ready yet. Afterward, the team struggles through a tough fight, taking heavy hits until Jaredy's breakthrough comes just in time. A surge of new energy flows through them as Team Cortex Monsunos evolve mid-battle, allowing them to fight back hard with a strong counterattack. After winning, Chase doesn't get to celebrate for long. His team lets him have it for rushing in without a solid plan. In the other episode, meanwhile, Chase begins to enjoy having his mother Sophia back in his life. She delivers shocking news. She tells him that she's leaving to rebuild the library of Tabab and Bale is going with her. Despite being sad, Chase accepts her decision and stays behind with Team Cortex while Sophia and Bale depart in a storm convoy carrying expensive artifacts. But then Bookman ambushes them, not only stealing the library's treasures, but hijacking their entire truck. In the chaos, Bale spins out Glowblade, battling fiercely before before managing to escape with Sophia into the icy Mandala Mountains. Meanwhile, Chase's Monsuno sight suddenly flares and he realizes that his mother is in danger. He and Jarity ignore all the orders, take off in the Cloud Hopper, racing to find her just as Droog's spaceship looms overhead. However, the alien warlord demands the Book of the Five Tribes, stolen by Bookman, but Baal refuses, knowing its secrets are far too dangerous to fall into the wrong hands. While Hand of Destiny threatens Sophia, Baal is forced to make a heartbreaking decision, which is to destroy the book rather than letting Droog take it. Just when it seems like all hope is lost, Chase and Jarity arrive in a flash of Hyper Monsuno power, striking back and forcing Droog to retreat. Next, as Sophia gets ready to leave again, Chase understands her mission and this time he lets her go with pride. When rumors spread about mysterious clone cores battling in an underground Monsuno fight ring, Team Cortec goes undercover, with Dax leading the way. His old friend Spike helps them get in, but what Dax doesn't realize is that it's all a setup. As Dax dominates the tournament, the truth comes out. Clips created the clones and rigged the fights to draw him in. The moment he wins, steel cages slam shut. He's now Clips' prisoner, forced to watch as the scientist taps into his core unique energy for a dangerous new experiment. With Dax missing, Team Cortex scrambles to find him, unaware that Spike betrayed them. Meanwhile, as Clips' lab powers up, Dax's core starts reacting violently, unlocking something neither he nor Clips ever saw coming. In the other episode, the fight for Dax turns into complete chaos as every group rushes in. Grandma Future's tech warriors, Mr. Black's secret agents, Strike Squad's top soldiers, and even Drez's punk monks all jump into the battle over Clips' lab. Dax is still trapped inside, his core glowing with unstable energy. Team Cortec pushes through the madness, Baal takes on Strike Squad, Jinja outsmarts Mr. Black's men, and Bren works fast to break into Clips' system, while Chase fights to reach his friend. But Clips isn't finished yet. He unleashes his most dangerous creation, a terrifying mix of Dax's core and stolen cloning tech, forming the monstrous proto-hybrid Monsuno. In the next episode, moreover, with Clips and Droog keeping quiet, Chase and Team Cortec are left handling boring chores, until they hear rumors about black market dealers selling essence. Excited for some real action, they take the mission right away, but before they can act, the Hand of Destiny gets there first and steals the essence. Frustrated as HOD escapes, Team Cortec settles for taking down the criminals instead, but Dax has other ideas. He persuades Chase to misunderstand their orders and go after HOD anyway. Following HOD to a huge pylon network, Team Cortec discovers that Droog has teamed up with them. It turns out he's running an experiment, a weapon that can explode Monsuno essence using sound waves and the power grid. The battle breaks out, but the detonator's frequency messes with Team Cortec's commands, forcing them to think on their feet. After a wild fight, they manage to destroy the pylons, stopping Droog's weapon, or so they believe. Feeling victorious, Team Cortec celebrates their return to action. In the next episode, when the Storm space station suddenly goes silent after a strange attack, Chase, Jarity, Jinja, and Bren jump into the space hopper to check it out. When they arrive, they find the crew under mind control, the system's taken over by a powerful virus, and the entire station slowly falling out of orbit, on a collision course with Earth. The ones behind it is Hand of Destiny operatives, working for Droog, who has plugged his terrifying new alien Monsuno, Cybog, into the station's mainframe. As Jarity scrambles to erase the virus and bring Storm's systems back online, Team Cortec fights through swarms of mind-controlled crew members and HOD agents. But just as Jarity is about to send the antivirus, Droog's invisible Monsuno cuts off the relay dish, forcing an intense zero-gravity space battle as Team Cortec's Monsunos struggle to clear the signal. With only seconds left, the antivirus activates, and reinforcements, including Dax, Baal, and Strike Squad, arrive just in time to catch the falling station and push it safely back into orbit. Afterward, Droog never intended to destroy the station. The whole crisis was just a distraction, while he secretly planted a black box in the mainframe, moving his real plan forward. In the next episode, meanwhile, Ace grants Team Cortec some downtime. Bren plans a quiet trip home until his teammates invite themselves along. The problem is, Bren's been embellishing his storm role to his jock brothers, claiming he's a deputy commandant marshal instead of the bookish tech whiz he really is. Reluctantly, he agrees to keep up the charade, but their relaxing trip quickly turns serious when Bren's hometown is thrown into chaos. Miners have mysteriously vanished from the local tungsten mine, and the only survivor rants about an evil from the depths. Believing in Bren's supposed heroics, his parents beg him to help. Trying to live up to their expectations, Bren swallows his fear and leads his overly confident brothers underground, only to completely panic and run when a monstrous Monsuno attacks, causing the tunnel to collapse. Humiliated, Bren's brothers expose his lies and determined to prove that their real heroes march back into the mine on their own. Now Bren has no choice but to face the truth and the monster. Determined, he heads back into the mine, confronting the Monsuno in the darkness. But he soon uncovers the real threat behind it. Dom, Pyro, and Hargrave are the ones controlling the beast. In an intense showdown, Bren uses his quick thinking and true skills to outsmart them, rescuing his brothers just in time. Last, he earns their respect, proving that being a hero isn't about having a family fancy title, it's about courage. In the series finale, Droog's revenge plan nears completion. Only Dr. Clips and Dr. Jared Isuno stand in his way. Using the power of the HOD, he activates the Quickening Way, teleporting both scientists and their sons to a volcanic island. At first, the two factions clash, but realizing Droog's manipulation, they call a truce and unite against him. Meanwhile, Team Cortec, guided by Bale's Monsuno sight, races to chase his location. As the volcano erupts, Droog manipulates the lava, attacking his enemies before unleashing two powerful Monsunos. Only Chase and Clips have Monsunos left to fight back. Just as the battle reaches its peak, a Team Cortec Cloudhopper arrives, only for Droog to blast it from the sky. Furious, Chase dual wields his last Monsuno, driving Droog back, but the alien warlord reveals his secret weapon, quadruple wielding 4 Monsunos at once. Outmatched, the heroes seem doomed until the rest of Team Cortec arrives with Locke's core. Overpowered, Droog retreats to his ship. Locke fires a massive energy beam at the volcano, triggering an eruption. Lava floods Droog's ship, dragging it into the ocean's depths, burying him forever. With the battle won, the heroes escape to the cloud carrier, locking up Six and Clips next to Charlemagne. On deck, Team Cortec celebrates their hard-fought victory. I hope you enjoyed the legendary story of Monsuno. Don't forget to click the like button if you liked my video. See you in the next one. Goodbye.